1.5 day revision strategy. In this session, you will learn what exactly is the objective of this 1.5 day revision strategy and what exactly is the importance of this 1.5 days and what are the benefits of following this particular strategy and what exactly is the checklist you would need for implementing this strategy. And we'll also look into certain sample strategies for your reference. Let us start with the objective. We have a very clear objective. You should be looking to improve up to 6 to 8 marks in each and every paper, and your aggregate group score could shoot up to 30 marks. This is exactly what you should target. And you heard me right. Yes, if you're utilizing this 1.5 day or 20-24 hours in this 1.5 days, it is very much possible for you to improve at least 6 marks in each paper. That is exactly what you should target. Now let us look into the importance of this 1.5 days. Number one, this is the last cycle of revision. I know you would have done multiple cycles of revision, but this is the last, but of course, the most important and the intensive revision cycle of your entire preparation. Now, what would this cycle do? It will help you to refresh all the topics in your mind so that your speed of recall in examination, if you're not revising, it will take a couple of minutes for you to specifically recall the information linked to that question or to that provision. But if you revise everything before the exam, you'll be able to recall everything in a matter of seconds. And most importantly, the accuracy of what you recall, the content accuracy and the content quality will improve, and this will significantly enhance your score in your theory papers especially. So this is why this 1.5 day revision cycle is very important. Now, beyond this importance, let us look into what exactly are the benefits of following this 1.5 day strategy. Now, without a strategy, what will happen is you will be doing or you will be revising things in a random manner. But if you have a proper strategy, these are the benefits. Number one, effective utilization of the entire 20 hours. 20 hours is the minimum time which you can utilize. It can shoot up to 25, 26, but this is a minimum possible time for each and every student if you are following the strategy. Next, you need not panic at all. Your panic will drop down to literally zero, and you won't be feeling any pressure of wasting time because everything is tightly planned and there would not be any jumping from one topic to other. Normally what happens is student will start a topic and then before finishing it you'll move on to other topic, and in 3 to 4 hours you'll realize that you would not have completed even one topic and the whole revision has become very random. That can be avoided completely. And by following this strategy, you'll get a sense of completion and satisfaction that yes, my revision is done properly, and which will in turn give you the confidence to attempt the question paper. Also, you'll be very clear about choosing the order of questions. Most of the time students make a mistake here, and most effectively or most importantly for that matter, the probability to pass that particular paper by doing this 1.5 day revision cycle, the probability of passing that paper is significantly improved. I hope these benefits are good enough for you to think about and implement the strategy. Now let us look into the checklist needed for this. Number one, the most important, you should have a single source. It is very important. It could be a handwritten note, summary note, short notes, or reference book, but have only one single source. Do not pile up a bunch of books and start doing it here and there. It is very important that a single source should be there. And number two, you should have a clear cut revision plan for at least 20 hours. When I say 20 hours, you should break it down. I'll show it in the sample strategy, but a clear cut revision plan has to be ready before you start this 1.5 days. And you should have clearly defined hourly targets. For example, in this 3 hours, I should be able to complete this 2, 3 topics. So it has to be further divided, and you should have an isolated place to study and strict no to mobile usage and watching random YouTube videos. Nothing is going to happen. There is no one video which will change everything. Instead, it would make sense for you to go back and re-revise what has already been done from your notebook. Okay, this is very important. Please stay away from a mobile and random YouTube videos. And most importantly, you should have a calm and composed mind. Your mind should be peaceful, calm and composed for you to make maximum utilization of the strategy. Okay, now let us look into some of the sample strategies. So please have a clear look at this table. I have divided it across 3 days. Now, day one is your previous exam day. Day two is the gap day, and day three is the next exam day. Okay, we have 2 exam days, 1 gap day. So on the previous exam day, since you would be already tired, since it would burn a lot of energy, I'm recommending you to study for 4 hours. Now this 4 hours is ideally from 6 to 10 p.m. if your exam center is near. Otherwise, it would probably shift from 6:30 or probably at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock is the maximum. Everybody would be back by 6:30, right? So this half an hour here and there would happen. But the underlying idea is that you take a proper break, you eat something, and start the preparation. And for students who are reasonably energetic and whose exam center is near, probably they can study 1 more hour. Okay, 4 hours is what I can recommend. Now, in this 4 hours, you should be trying to target 25 marks. I understand it is difficult. It is a bit tough for you to hear and realize that how can 25 marks be completed in 4 hours. We'll discuss that. But this 25 marks should be from topics which are relatively easy to score, and you have to move into a rapid revision mode. This is what happens on a day one. Day two, gap day, I'm recommending at least 12 hours from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Between this time, you can study for at least 12 hours, and 14 hours is very much possible, but I'm just giving you a minimum and conservative note, and you should be able to complete 75 marks. Now, you might get a doubt like, why are we compressing everything into 2 days? What about the day three? So, I'll tell you why I want you to complete most of the topics in the first 2 days itself. Is because on day three, I would recommend you to re revise everything. That will be ultra powerful. You'll get far more confidence and far more clarity. I understand it is slightly difficult, but let us look into the conditions about how we can do it. I hope this table is clear. Otherwise, you can pass and look at it for a while. Next, you need to have some additional points in your mind before we proceed into the sample strategies. Number one, all the super students. When I say super students, all our mentorship students, whether you are from Super 36 or One Last Attempt or from Super Student Pro, you can use the day three entirely for re-revision. Why is it possible for you? Because you have already utilized the FTR technique and you already went through the 50-hour challenge. And these are techniques which will already get your mind ready to compress information in a faster manner. For other students, it would be difficult, but if you're a part of the mentorship, this is very much possible. You can easily back yourself. And you should also make the effective utilization of your day and revision summary, because when you're used to compress 10 hours of content into 10 minutes, even if you've done it at least for 10, 20 times, if not every day, it is very much possible for super students. So I strongly recommend you to use day three for re-revising everything and complete the entire revision on the first 2 days. And other students, if you're not aware of how FTR works or how this 50-hour challenge works, definitely you can use the third day also. You can distribute the topic across 3 days. And as I mentioned, 4 plus 12 plus 4 hours is the optimum time. And additionally, 4 more hours can be utilized. Like instead of 20 hours, you can take it to 24 hours also. That is very much possible. And always keep the RTP plus MTP2 or two MTPs for that matter of the current attempt in this preparation cycle. Okay, that also has to be included. If you have already done it, very good. Even if not, just go through it once more by utilizing this time available. Okay, these are the additional points. Now let us look into some sample strategies. I'm just giving you a strategy for SFM. After FR, how would you complete the entire strategic financial management in this 1.5 days? On the exam day, after you come out of the FR exam, number one, do not do anything linked to FR exam. Don't even bother about how you have written the exam. It is very, very important. It has zero value once the exam is done. Nothing can be done. So good or bad or ugly, leave it. Fundamentally leave it. Don't steal or borrow time from the next exam. That is first condition. Now, once you're back to home, it could be at 6 o'clock or 6:30 or 7 o'clock for that matter. I would recommend you to complete these two topics, portfolio management and security valuation. The reason is they're reasonably easy to complete, or relatively easy to complete, and they have a very good weightage. So these two topics can be done where you can, expect at least 20 marks from this. And if possible, you can complete security analysis also. I've given an additional topic, which is a theory topic in brackets. Let's say you have already done the revision properly, you already utilized the 50-hour challenge. So it will be possible for you to complete the additional topic. Otherwise, just complete the two topics. Next, day two, early in the morning, the recommended sleep timing is 11 to 6, 10:30 to 5:30. You can look at it. If you're already used to the magic of mornings approach, you can do that, or it could slightly vary. That half an hour, 1 hour deviation is fine, but I hope you're understanding the essence of it. Now, once you wake up in the first half of the session, or in the early morning or morning for that matter, you can start with derivative analysis and valuation, then interest rate risk management and mutual funds. These are the three topics which needs to be done before lunch. You can break for breakfast. I'm not getting in the technicals because your wake up time would change accordingly. So these 3 topics should be done before lunch. That is exactly what you have to plan. And if it is done easily, you can complete risk management also, which is another theory topic. Next, post lunch, I would strongly recommend you to complete these 2 topics, which come with a weightage of 20-25 marks. Some of you might find it a bit difficult, but it is important, right? It's 20-25 marks, or even more would come from Forex and IFM. So these 2 topics can be done together, and they might take anywhere between 3 to 5 hours, depending on how comfortable you are. So 2 to 5:36 before the evening break, you can complete it. After the evening break, post the evening break, you can look at mergers and corporate valuation. If possible, you can do financial policy also. So these brackets, I would recommend for super students to complete them. Others, you can push it to the last day, where you can complete all the theory topics and your startup finance and securitization. And as I mentioned, if you're able to complete everything on day 2, please go through, re-revise all the topics which are done in the last 1.5 days. So that will give you more confidence, and it would take only 2-3 hours. It's all ultra rapid revision. We call it super revision. You just have to go through it once again. That's it. That will solidify the content. Even if you're not able to revise, that's still fine. Okay. I hope you got an understanding. You can slightly vary the chapters according to your faculty's strategy or according to your comfort. So this is for your reference only. Next, for example, audit. The reason why I took audit as an example also, because you might be questioning what should I do if there are more topics? How would I manage a theory subject? So that is the reason why I brought it here. So the funda, or the underlying principle behind creating this, is number one, on day one, you should be able to do relatively easy topics, easy in the sense which are easy to score. If they're easy, if they're not scoring, if they're not having a lot of weightage in the exam, it's pointless. So audit, the number of topics are more, so it's slightly more stressful as compared to SFM. You have to understand that, because we have to complete a lot of syllabus, it's lengthy. So on day one, I would recommend you to complete professional ethics, which is the bigger chapter, which will definitely come for 10 to 12 marks or even more. And then it can be done in 3 hours. And 2-3 chota mota topics, very very small topics, but it will be helpful for you to develop a perspective. And of course, they'll carry some decent weightage also. Peer review and risk assessment, you can look at 4 to 8 marks from both of these topics, and sometimes it can even cross more. So overall, you'll be able to fetch 20 to 25 marks from these topics, and even more also. I'm just giving you a conservative figure. So that can be done on day one. Day two, you can complete company audit report at Caro, and then followed by SS100 series, because they're interlinked slightly. And then you can complete the entire module 2 topics, this entire bunch of topics which are reasonably important, and they're reasonably scoring also, other 20 marks from these topics of various audits. So that can be done before lunch. Post lunch, yes, you're looking into the most of the topics from module T, and also your essay 200, 500, and 600 series after the evening break. So this is exactly what can be done. By this, you would have completed most of the audit. And on day 3, we just reserved some topics, one small topic, how do you do audit in an automated environment, and 300 and 400 series. If that can be done before itself for super students, well and good. Or even otherwise, you can complete it before breakfast, and after breakfast, let's say 10 to 12 or something around that time, you can re-revise all the topics, or you can purely re-revise everything. I hope this has given you some clarity, and you can slightly customize it according to your faculty strategy plus your own understanding. This can be done. One more example, since we looked into 2. So for law, it is important that you complete the first topics: appointment and qualification of directors and remuneration of manager person, on day 1 itself. These are very very important topics. They'll give you decent weightage, and they can be reasonably completed in those 4 or 5 hours. Next, day 2 at the beginning, so you can complete these 2 laws, which will give you some confidence, and you'll see that a lot of syllabus covered. Because if you complete these 4 topics, you can see almost 40 marks or even slightly more would have been done. Next, the other part of the Companies Act. So this bunch of topics, if you complete before lunch, you would be very very comfortable, because almost 60 marks in your paper is done. Post lunch, you can look at SEBI, FCRA, which are important, and there are small topics from the Companies Act also, which can be clubbed together and completed before the evening break. After the evening break, you will have a bunch of small topics, all 5-6 mark topics, so they can be done before 10 p.m. On the day of the exam, FEMA, if you're not able to complete it, you can do it on the day of exam, because it is important. It is scoring, and you would need some amount of memory to exactly present it. So since it is important, I parked it on day 3. If possible, you can complete on day 2 itself. Even otherwise, do it a couple of hours early in the morning, then re-revise all the topics. I hope this part is also clear. Okay, so you can pause the video at any point of time and look into it individually. And finally, one more example. I've given you the CMP example also. Here, the segregation, I have done it purely based on the ICI classification, because if you look at introduction, it becomes a part of your cost management. If you look at performance measurement, it becomes a part of your performance evaluation. These topics are clubbed together. And if you look at what is given on day 2 in the second half, we're talking about managerial control, which includes budgetary control and standard costing. So it will be easy for you to logically connect different topics. Similarly, decision making and pricing decision have been clubbed together, because these two will form part of your strategic decision making. So either way, in the first two topics itself, you will be able to score close to 20 marks, and each bucket which are given, it has around the 20 mark weightage. And the most important bucket is your performance measurement. It has a very good weightage in the last couple of attempts, and this time also we're expecting very good scoring from that. So by day 2 before lunch, you'll be able to complete 40 to 50 marks, or slightly more also, and you will be in a good position to handle, because there are only 11 chapters. Okay, so this is exactly how you can utilize your 1.5 day strategy. And I would recommend you to watch this video twice or thrice to get a complete perspective in your mind. And I wish you all the very best, and I strongly believe by following this strategy, you will be able to add those 6 to 8 valuable marks, which will definitely be able to help you cross the cutoff comfortably. Thank you, and all the very best.